All right, thanks for sharing your story today. You had a unique diagnosis and presentation. What were you sort of diagnosed before you came into the office?
So it was a form of tinnitus called vascular tinnitus.
Yeah.
After a number of tests that took place over about a year, it was really difficult to pin down exactly what the cause of it was, but we got to the point of thinking that it was intracranial hypertension,
Okay.
and which is basically just too much fluid or too much pressure on the brain, and especially the brainstem.
Okay, and that was going on for how long now?
I've been experiencing this since October of 2012.
Wow. So how did it impact your daily life? I mean, these are not just simple pressures here.
No, in the summer or February 2014, I had to take a leave of absence from work, and I was off work for approximately 10 weeks.
Wow.
I had vertigo, daily headaches on the scale of migraines, was basically unable to function in my job. At home, I was often unresponsive to my family, basically just sitting in place trying to deal with the symptoms that I had. To get over this, my doctor had prescribed very strong sleeping pills.
Okay.
Zopiclone, I believe it is, and had to triple the dose just to allow me to get sleep.
Wow.
So that basically increased my sleeping period from about an hour a day to about 4 hours at night.
Right.
So that was about the most sleep that I could get. So going through it, I eventually, with regulating my sleep like that, got to the point where I was able to return to work, but I was still taking Advil every 4 hours, dealing with the headaches, and still had impacts to my memory, still had impacts to my speech at times.
Wow.
So yeah, it was like hell for quite a while.
Sounds like it. So we began a unique process here called chiropractic biophysics. So it was a technique to bring the spine closer to its optimal position and reducing pressure in the nervous system. We did that for the past, I think, the first phase we went through a 3 times a week process for the first 12 weeks. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah.
And what we incorporated was some specific chiropractic adjustments, mirror image type adjustments, and then we use also some neurostructural exercise protocols to bring basically your head back over your shoulder so that pressure would come off the nervous system. What did you notice, I guess, going through this first phase? Like, what happened to your body function from there?
Well, I noticed within the first 2 weeks that, first of all, what I call the volume of the sound, or just the size and depth of the sound and pressure that I had in my head started to decrease. And so by the end of the first 2 weeks, I noticed that I was just able to be a lot more aware, a lot more present. Within the first 4 weeks, the sound in my head had quite drastically decreased, and I was no longer taking Advil.
Awesome.
My sleep had increased, at night significantly, and just normal function was drastically improved. I'd say by probably the 8-week mark, I was able to get off sleeping pills completely, and so I'm no longer taking sleeping pills at night, fall asleep on my own. I am not taking any form of pain medication, Advil, anything like
Nice.
that. And all that, there is no more pressure in my head. I don't react to the weather in any way at this point. So whereas I used to, if there was a storm rolling in, I knew it hours in advance and would have to hide out in the basement.
Whoa.
Now it's like you know, I don't, we have a storm coming in right now and I don't feel it at all. And so it just, you know, things, I almost feel back to normal.
And how does your wife feel when you're like this in a home now, I'd imagine?
Well, she's, I think that she's very appreciative of where I've come.
Okay. Such a drastic change, Ken. I want to thank you so much for sharing the story, because it just helps other people realize that, you know, there is a way that you could get better, especially using this structural process called chiropractic biophysics to help you really reach a level of optimal health. So thank you very much for sharing that. I appreciate your story.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate everything that you've done, and look forward to continuing on and building to better health.
Beautiful, bud. Thanks, Kev.
Thank you.